From stunning goals to memorable comebacks, the Champions League has provided football fans with some of the most unforgettable moments in the sport's history. In this video, we'll be taking a look back at the most iconic moments that have defined the competition and left a lasting impression on fans around the world. So sit back, relax, and get ready to relive the top 10 most exciting and dramatic moments in the history of the Champions League. Number 10. Drogbas Redemption. Didier Drogba's Champions League redemption is one of the most memorable and inspiring stories in the history of the competition. From being sent off in the 2008 final, to being the most devastated out of his teammates after being robbed of another Champions League final in 2009, the Ivorian player was reaching the end of his time on top, and the 2012 UCL finals seemed like his final shot at immortality. The thing was, Chelsea wasn't the mighty and strong team that they once were during the 2000s, and they were facing a strong Bayern side playing at home. On the 83rd minute, Müller scored a goal that at first sight appeared to be sealing another disappointment for Chelsea. However, 5 minutes later, Drogba scored a terrific header that sent the game to extra time. No goals were scored in those 30 minutes, and 4 years later, Chelsea were again fighting for the Champions League trophy on penalty kicks. With all the pressure in the world on his shoulders, Drogba stepped up to take the decisive penalty, and he made no mistake, slotting the ball past Neuer to secure the trophy for Chelsea. A truly good-feel moment that established Didier Drogba as one of the best Chelsea players of all time. Number 9. Sheriff stun Real. This was one of the biggest upsets not only in the Champions League but in football history, as FC Sheriff Tiraspol defeated Real Madrid 2-1 in the group stage of the 2021-2022 season. Sheriff was actually the first Moldovan club to qualify to the group stage of the Champions League, and in their first participation, they beat the team who won the most titles in the competition's history, in plain Santiago Bernabeu. Sheriff scored first, but Karim Benzema equalized with a penalty kick. However, in the 89th minute, Sebastian Thiel scored the game winner with an incredible strike from outside the box. This was a reminder that in football, anything can happen, and that even the biggest clubs can be vulnerable on any given day. Number 8. Coupet's header. Grégory Coupet was a seriously good goalkeeper in his peak. The now 50-year-old represented France on 34 occasions and was a key part of that Lyon squad that famously won 7 Ligue 1 titles in a row. As well as being a great goalkeeper, Coupet also made arguably the best save in Champions League's history. In the 2001-2002 season, Lyon were drawn against Barcelona in the Champions League group stage. Les Gones actually lost her fixture at Camp Nou 2-0, but in that match, Coupet produced a save that still defies description to this very day. With the scores level at 0-0, the goalkeeper received a terrible lofted back pass under pressure from Claudio Cacapa. It looked certain that a comical own goal would be the outcome, as Coupet was unable to use his hands to prevent the ball from crossing the line, but the Frenchman had a trick up his sleeve, the diving header. Coupet jumped in the air like he was prime Jeff Hardy and sent the ball straight into the crossbar before getting back to his feet in a millisecond to crush Rivaldo's added effort with the most incredible point-blank save. A brilliant moment that we are unlikely to ever witness again. Number 7. Mourinho's touchline sprint. As far as introductions go, this one from Jose Mourinho was pretty good. Then an emerging manager in Portugal, Mourinho took his Porto side to Old Trafford to face Manchester United as massive underdogs. They'd won the first leg at home 2-1, but looked set to crash out on away goals as they approached the 90th minute of the second leg. With time winding down, Porto were desperately needing a goal, but on the 90th minute, Costinha pounced on a loose ball in the box to give Porto the advantage once again, after which Mourinho went sprinting down the Old Trafford touchline. The first of many iconic Mourinho moments. What a legend. Number 6. Trent Alexander-Arnold Cleverness. On the road to their 2019 Champions League win, Liverpool faced Barcelona at home, but the odds were stacked against them after losing 3-0 at the Camp Nou. Nevertheless, the Reds only needed 56 minutes to match the 3 goals scored by Barca, with an early goal from Origi and a brace from Ronaldo. It was Trent Alexander-Arnold that made the difference though, hitting a quick corner while Barcelona's defense was still reorganizing, meeting Origi's head and then the back of the net. Just like that, Liverpool were on the way to the UCL final 12 years later, thanks to a moment of genius and quick thinking by the young defender. Number 5. Ronaldo's sniper goal. It was 2009 and Ronaldo made his return to Portugal in the Champions League quarter-final tie that Manchester needed to win in order to progress. Being a former Sporting CP player, he had to deal with all sorts of taunting in what was a high-pressure match anyway. But just 6 minutes into it, Ronaldo showed exactly why he was said to be one of the all-time greats with an explosive strike into the top corner, Registered at a speed of 103 km per hour, Ronaldo received the ball from Anderson 36 meters away from goal. It took one shot before firing exquisitely beyond Elton to put United 1-0 up and 3-2 up in the tie. The perfect strike that won Man United the match and even led to the creation of the Puskás Award, with Ronaldo winning the first edition, of course. Number 4. Messis Out Classical stunner. We never had an El Clasico Champions League final. The closest we got of it was a meet-up in the semi-finals of the competition. In 2011, at the height of the Messi-Ronaldo rivalry, both Real and Barca fought for a shot at winning the most coveted prize at club level. In the first match of the tie, Messi scored 2 to help Barcelona win the match in the Santiago Bernabeu. One of those goals was a thing of pure beauty, as La Pulga emulated his hero Diego Maradona by saloming with the ball from close to the halfway line, leaving 5 defenders in his wake before squeezing a finish beyond Iker Casillas. No wonder they call Messi a wizard, as this was just another example of him at his absolute best on his way to another Champions League win. Number 3. Ronaldo's bicycle. Forgive me for boring you with 3 moments in a row by these 2 marvelous players, but that just goes to show you how impactful they really were and still are in the sport we all know and love. The year was 2018, and Real Madrid were in their prime off the back of 2 consecutive Champions League wins. Facing Juventus away, Real completely dominated La Vecchia Signora, and Cristiano was the man of the match. Despite having already scored earlier in the match, it was his second goal that would go down in history. Soaring above Juve's defender, Ronaldo connected sweetly with an overhead kick from Dani Carvajal's cross, leaving Gianluigi Buffon with absolutely no chance of saving it. No wonder he's called Mr. Champions League. Number 2. Barcelona's Remontada. Although this comeback didn't end with Barcelona winning the Champions League, La Remontada was one of the most shocking moments in football and deserves to be high on this list. PSG had beaten Barcelona 4-0 in the Parc des Princes, and pretty much everyone thought that was a wrap. However, 22 days later, Los Culés were in their home turf completely focused on turning the match around. A Luis Suarez strike, Kurzawa's own goal, and Lionel Messi's penalty had them 3-0 up by the 50th minute, but an Edinson Cavani's rifled finish seemed to be the final nail on Barca's coffin. Unfortunately for PSG, Neymar had other plans and scored 2 goals in 3 minutes, creating the most thrilling stoppage time of all time, where Barca were playing with all their hearts looking for the goal. And in a final effort, Sergio Roberto popped up in the 95th minute to poke in and complete one of the most memorable Champions League comebacks of all time. And in my opinion, only behind the final entry in this list. Number 1. The Istanbul Miracle. This one has to be the best Champions League final of the last couple of decades. The year was 2005 and the stadium was the Atatürk Olympic in Istanbul. AC Milan had taken a commanding 3-0 lead in the first half, seemingly cruising towards victory. However, Liverpool staged a remarkable comeback in the second half, scoring 3 goals in just 6 minutes to level the score at 3-3. The match went into extra time and eventually a penalty shootout, which Liverpool won 3-2 to claim their 5th Champions League title. It was a stunning and historic victory and the perfect way to close out this list. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this served as a nostalgia trip as we get close to another Champions League final. If you've made it this far in the video, comment your favorite Champions League moment of all time. Furthermore, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, as it really helps growing the channel. Thank you once again, and I'll see you on the next one.